So I just got around to watching Nekopara episode 1, and I know many are asking, but Chibi, it's already like 7 weeks into the series, and this is what I want to say. It's better late than never to get around to a show, and I did say I would give everything a chance, this anime season that I said I would watch, and does it still count even though I'm a little bit late? Hopefully it does, but okay, jokes aside though, I finally watched the first episode, and it is definitely something that I think fans of the visual novel are going to find enjoyable, and newcomers as well. Now, to give some clarification, my personal history with said series, Nekopara is a visual novel game, and I have glanced at the game quite a few times in the past. I haven't, let's say, beat the game, 100% it, etc. I'm not gonna, claim that I've done so, but I do know enough about Nekopara to kind of know what I'm getting into upon watching this first episode. And after seeing the first episode and kind of confirming, the differences between, the visual novel and anime, overall, it's somewhat similar. The only differences is that a lot of the fan service is removed from this series, which I'm going to get into in just a second. But I do think, though, if you can overlook, let's say, fan service, like the removal of most of it, you're going to find a very cutesy and enjoyable series. Honestly, looking at this first episode, it's very wholesome. It's honestly up there with Somali from this anime season, Winter of Anime 2020, and I think that if you're wanting something really cute or cutesy, and if you have yet to get around to watching this series, you might enjoy it. So before I go any further, what is Nekopara about? Is it something that is worth your time, something that you would want to watch, etc.? What is the general story? So, to talk about the plot within the first episode and everything being set up, etc., it's pretty much a world that functions much like our own right now, and you have it to where there is a certain type of humanoid creature, basically Nekomimis, which is cat girls, that are able to be in this world as well. And obviously, our main character, the main male character, has these cat girls around him that are really into him, basically want to be around him, they just enjoy his company, and they want to help him out, and the main male character wants to set up a shop, and they want to help him out. That's pretty much the main part of what this first episode sets up. Now, is it anything insanely mind-blowing with that description? Not really. But if you're someone that likes slice of life, cutesy, and sometimes maybe even fan service, then you're probably gonna like this said series. Now, if you like cats, if you really, really like cats, you're probably going to enjoy this series as well, because it does have a lot of cat-like antics going on between the characters, like the personality or little tics that cats have, you will see displayed throughout the episode and throughout the series from these said characters. I mean, there was many examples you saw throughout the first episode of Nekopara that showed that these cat girls actually do act like cats in some ways, either chasing after objects or, pushing their paws on a stomach of someone, the way they go after food, etc., or the way they run away into a bush when you try to offer them something. There's a lot of different little, things that happen within the first episode that kind of clarify that these cat girls aren't just to appear to look like cat girls, they actually act like cats too, so they're not just human with cat-like features. So there is a different level of depth to said characters, but the amount of depth really is, I guess, questionable. But okay, let's get into the fan service part. So as I said earlier on in this video, there was definitely a lack of said fan service throughout this first episode. And it's honestly something I kind of expected, because if you are aware of the original source, it is a VN game, visual novel game, that does have, let's say, certain scenes that definitely cannot be shown to a public audience. What do you think? This is, interspecies reviewers? This is not that type of series. This is not going to get away with it. So, obviously, a lot of that type of stuff was censored or completely removed entirely. And I know some that probably like Nekopara for the memes or like it for the fan service is probably not going to really enjoy this said series, most likely because of the removal of a lot of said scenes. Personally, though, if you're looking for something very cutesy, slice of lifey, and just something to really bypass the time and enjoy, and just give you a nice topping to finish a day, then you're probably going to enjoy this series. But if you're someone that seeks the fan service nature of the visual novel, then you're probably not really going to like the anime, and I would honestly recommend you just to skip it. But like I said, it really depends on what you're really looking for. But I mean, if you're really honestly, let's be honest, if you're looking for fan service this anime season, why don't you just, watch interspecies reviewers? Because that's clearly doing a lot of things this anime season, because nobody, honestly, has really mentioned anything about Nekopara as much as in comparison to that said series. If interspecies reviewers was not coming out this anime season, I really think Nekopara would be getting a lot more focus and attention in comparison to interspecies or any other series in terms of fan service, etc., or just fans being upset maybe because it's not showing everything. It's kind of interesting to see how one series could kind of make another series kind of fall into its shadow. But okay, overall, did I enjoy the first episode? Yeah, I did enjoy the first episode of Nekopara. I do think that it is quite a fun series. Is it the best from the season? No. So in conclusion, is this series worth your time? Honestly, I don't really know. Personally, I don't think I am going to continue watching Nekopara, because after seeing a lot of different series from this, anime season, like, everything else I've already mentioned that I would watch and I have put first impressions out on, this series isn't necessarily as good as I thought it was going to be. Obviously, if you're wanting something really good for Nekopara, I would recommend the VN or, let's say, the OVAs that came out. But, like I've already said previously in this video, if you like Slice of Life, then I guess go out of your way and watch it, because this will be for you. But, I do think, though, this series is going to be kind of a drop for me, / skip, because all it really has going on for it, if it removes certain things, is that it's cute girls doing cute things with, just cat-like features, which is enjoyable to a certain extent, but overall, in terms of, discussion and all that, there's really not much to be had. I mean, it's probably going to create a lot of memes. I mean, Nekopara's always created a lot of memes, and I mean, with the whole ordeal with, the Cats movie that came out, recently, and how awful it really was, and then Nekopara coming out around the same time, I know there's going to be a lot of memes on that. There probably is already memes on that, so I mean, it just all falls into place, honestly, and I do think that Nekopara, in its own way, is going to be enjoyable for a certain very obscure audience, but that isn't necessarily a bad thing. Now, in terms of art and animation, voice acting, etc., I really do think the art is great, and I do think the animation is great as well. It's nothing insanely good, but it's nothing bad as well. It's slightly above average in my honest opinion. And when it comes to music, music is charming, and it definitely does fit the tone of said series, and the way the backgrounds, the color palette, etc. really fits, what I saw when I glanced at the visual novel for the first time. So yeah, I think Nekopara, it's a series that some are going to love, but I do definitely think that this is one of a weaker anime from this season, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's a crap anime, I think there's better from this season. But okay, I love you guys. You have a wonderful day or night wherever you live. If you enjoy my content, please subscribe. If you like this video, please leave a like. And if you want to get notified for whenever I upload a video, please click the bell icon down below. And with that, Chibi out.